For years, my main YouTube light has been the Godox SL-60W with a giant 36-inch Neewer parabolic softbox. It's cheap, it's soft, and it takes up half the room. Now, Suncrafter has sent me this sleek, beautiful 200-watt LED panel, the F200B. It's slim, it's portable, it looks pro, and I instantly fell in love with it until I turned it on. Can a high-powered LED panel replace the trusted Cobb light for YouTube? Let's find out. Look, I'm not a filmmaker. I don't need to light a cinematic movie scene or a music video with dancers and a fog machine. I just make YouTube videos. That's important because most lighting advice you find online is for filmmakers or photographers, and it might not actually apply to people doing what we're doing here. This light is gorgeous. The build quality is fantastic. It's super slim. It has one of those professional looking control boxes that make you feel like you know what you're doing. Plus it takes up almost no space. I set it up, smiled, and then problem. This thing is crazy powerful. This usual talking head shot, I have it at 1% power, and I've had to change my settings to bump up my shutter speed because it's still clipping. And that's with a grid and diffusion. For comparison, my Godox SL-60W with the big parabolic softbox usually runs at 40 to 50% power, sometimes as low as 20%. I love having the ability to dim it way down. Now, part of this is my setup. I shoot in a completely blacked out room with a full frame camera and an f1.4 lens. If you're shooting on a smaller sensor or in a brighter room, you might actually need more power than 60 watts. But for me and my camera and lens combo, it's complete overkill. Here's the thing, my Godox setup is big and awkward, but the light it produces is super soft and forgiving. With the Suncrafter, even with the diffusion, the light's a little harsher when it's close up. Now move it back further and wow, it's insane. Beautiful, it's bright, even coverage, but up close for a YouTube talking head, for me it's not ideal. This light is perfect as a hair light, background light, or for product B-roll. It's also amazing if you shoot in different locations because you can easily move it around. It looks so cool on set. I mean, if I were a pro lighting a big scene or multiple people, this would be in my kit for sure. But I'm not a pro. I'm just a guy talking into a camera in a room. Before you decide on a Cobb or an LED light, think about, are you shooting in a dark room or with natural light? How close will you be to your light? What camera and lens combo are you using? If you're like me, full frame, low aperture, close lighting, a 60 to 100 watt Cobb light with a big softbox, I think is still the best bang for your buck and will serve you well. If you're on a phone or smaller sensor or lighting more than just yourself, an LED panel like this could be exactly what you need. Just make sure whatever you buy does come with a return period because sometimes how it looks for that YouTube creator might not be the same as how it works for you and your camera and lens combo. Will LED panels kill Cobb lights? No. Cobb lights aren't going anywhere. Being able to quickly swap modifiers keeps them super versatile. But for the right creator, a light like this Suncrafter F200B is amazing. It's $600, feels like a tank, the light quality is excellent and accurate, and it's built for people who need serious portable power. For me, it's not the perfect key light, but as a pro tool for the right person, it's fantastic. Suncrafter, thanks for sending this over. Keep making quality gear, but also please update your website. Remove the dead links and show us the people behind the products on your About page. I like to know who I'm supporting when I buy a product. I think others would feel the same. If you're a YouTuber like me and you want the best value lighting setup, stick with a Cobb and a big softbox. But if you need power, portability, and a sleek design, this LED panel could be your new best friend. I have the Godox SL-60W, the Amaran X60S, and the Neewer HB80c. And honestly, while the Godox is the oldest of the bunch, I still use it as my main since it's a bit bigger, which I actually prefer when using with a giant softbox. The Amaran, for example, feels tiny with this softbox and feels like it will topple over. Plus, I actually prefer having a remote like this Godox has as opposed to using an app to control the lights, especially since I use my phone as a teleprompter and I can't adjust the lights while I'm in the middle of a video. I'll share links in the description for all the lights mentioned in this video, and if you ever need help deciding on which light to get, let's chat in the comments. My light recommendation will change depending on your camera lens combo. I've always bought these 60 watt lights because they're cheap, and I've always dreamed about buying the 200, 300 watt ones that the Gerald Unduns use or the DSLR shooter. And at the end of the day, I don't need that much power. It took me a long time to realize that getting this 200 watt light, when I turn it up, I have no need for that much power. So the 60 to 80 watt to 100 watt lights, I think are the sweet spot for people that shoot this kind of stuff. Anyway, I just thought I would share that. Took me years to figure that out. If you do decide to order something at some point, I would appreciate if you use the affiliate links below. Costs you nothing extra and allows you to support the channel. I try and avoid sponsored reviews and ad spots so I can keep the videos honest and fun to watch. Using those links continues to help me do that. As always, thanks for watching. In case you missed my video talking about which size softbox you should get, check that out here. Otherwise, here's a video where I talk about lighting and different sensor sizes. It's worth watching, so check that out if you are still learning about lighting. See you next time on the SAD Studio.